We're starting off this guide with a look at Groh's A6. It's an aggressive new move that has great frame situations on both hit and block. On hit, Groh's A6 is +10 and turns the opponent around a little bit, which means it's going to be very hard for them to challenge whatever you throw out next. On block, A6 is -2, and this can be a very, very good situation for Groh. In a -2 situation, the opponent has to use a very fast move in order to take full advantage of their turn without you stealing it back. So here I have the opponent bot set to use Groh's 6BB, which is a frame 16 move, and I can outspeed that using Groh's AA. If the opponent decides to use a quick attack, you will get beat because you are at disadvantage technically, but what you can do to beat this instead is GI it, and you'll often get a level 3 GI, which comes with good rewards. Overall, I really like Groh's new A6. He didn't really have a great -2 situation on block before, and that's a great situation for opening up defensive players because you can either steal your turn back or go for that GI read. Now this move is I-22, meaning it's a little slow, and it's a high attack so the opponent can duck it. So be careful about using this too much in neutral, however, I like it despite these shortcomings. Next up is Groh's 236B. This is a knockdown frame 18 high vertical that's completely safe on block and has good reward on hit. The optimal combo for this move is very simple, 236B into 66B plus K for about 60 damage. The good thing about this combo is that it works at just about any range that 236B will hit. It can whiff at the very tip of 236B, but otherwise you should be fine to go for this combo. 236B has a lot of good applications, but one of my favorite things to do with it is punish duck throws. It's good for this purpose because you can use it from crouch. It's frame 18, so you can react to the throw and punish it in time, and it does good damage for a frame 18 move. In the same vein, you can use it to punish duck highs for exactly the same reward, or you can even use it as a general whiff punisher because of its range. Lastly, this move has ring out and wall splat capabilities, although for the wall splat you have to be a little close. Regardless, it allows you to do some cool combos like that one right there for high damage. This move used to have some really bad whiffing issues at Season 2's launch, but as you can see here, that's kind of gone as of version 2.02. So the only thing you have to keep in mind is that it is a high vertical. It'll whiff if the opponent ducks or steps. 236B is definitely a great move for certain situations, and it gets even better in Soul Charge, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. For now, let's move on to the next move. In Season 2, Groh has been given a fantastic new low poke in 3A plus B, and it's possibly his best low now. 3A plus B is a horizontal move, and at frame 20, it's faster than 1B or 1K. On hit, 3A plus B is -2, meaning, again, it's the same situation as A6 on block. You can either try and steal your turn back with a quick attack, or GI the opponent trying to take their turn. While 3A plus B is really good in neutral, it's also fantastic for stopping rolling opponents. Groh did not have a great move to stop rolling opponents before Season 2, so this is greatly appreciated. Even though it doesn't look like much, 3A plus B is definitely one of the best new moves Groh got, and I think every Groh player needs to start incorporating this into their gameplay. .44K Slide A is definitely an interesting new tool for Groh. It is high, then low, both attacks are horizontal, and it's a natural combo for 42 damage. On block, 44KA is -12, so you will eat a small punish against most characters. If the first hit is blocked, you can't jump or GI the second hit. You have to block it. On counter hit, you get a little bit of an extra combo, 44K Slide A into 66B plus K for somewhere between 55 and 60 damage. Not only does this move have great reward on counter hit, it also has a lot of range for the first hit, so this makes it great at restricting the opponent's movement and getting run counters. Now, the first hit's range is good, but the second hit's range is even more absurd, and it allows you to use this move as an approach tool very effectively. If you need a quick way to get in, risking a -12 punish isn't the worst thing in the world in exchange for being up close. But even then, if you space this move correctly, some characters won't even be able to punish it, such as 2B right here. Now we're going to take a look at some of Groh's new moves in Avenger, starting with Avenger BK. Just like Avenger BB, this is a multi-hit I-12 attack made up of mid-vertical hits, but there are some key differences from Avenger BB. For one, Avenger BK is minus 12 on block, meaning you can be punished for the opponent blocking this. Despite this drawback, there are bonuses to the move. For example, Avenger BB can be guard impacted in the middle of the string. However, Avenger BK cannot. Additionally, Avenger BK can guard break, which leads to a nice 59 damage combo. Lastly, Avenger BK can wall splat on normal hit, leading to some pretty nice combos such as this. Avenger BK can be used in wall combos such as this one. However, I haven't found a great optimal combo that uses this move yet, so for the time being, don't worry too much about this, just know its other bonuses. Alongside Avenger BK, we have also received a new Avenger K and Avenger KA. The new Avenger K still comes out on frame 16, but there are some other applications that have changed about it. For one, you'll notice that the new Avenger K is punishable on hit because it's minus 4 and you can't block afterwards. However, if we set the opponent to not attack, we'll notice that Avenger K can be looped indefinitely now, since the animation does not push the opponent away quite as far as the old Avenger K did. I would say Avenger K on its own has definitely gotten worse, but Avenger KA changes the application of this move entirely. Previously, Avenger K was meant you would hit, and then you'd go for another mix-up because you were +3, and you couldn't block, so it was a little bit risky. You know, you didn't have too many plus frames, but it was kind of a mix-up tool. The new Avenger K is meant for you to exit Avenger safely after getting a quick low poke in. Now, on block, the new Avenger KA is -6, so you're not plus, and you're not even really slightly negative. And is this better? We don't entirely know for sure. Personally, I like having the ability to block after Avenger K. However, I know not all Groh players are a fan of this change. I think a good way to use this change in your favor is to condition the opponent into thinking that you'll always finish Avenger KA. If you land Avenger K, the A hit will be a force block. So if you always finish this string, the opponent will always expect to have to block the second hit. Once you've got the opponent conditioned, you can throw out Avenger K on its own and not get punished for it. With these changes, Avenger is still an aggressive stance. However, Avenger B has become a bit more versatile, and you have to use Avenger K a little bit differently. Now we're about to take a look at Groh's new Soul Charge attacks and Soul Attack. But before we do that, I want to acknowledge I've left out 66AB in the new move section of this guide. I'll go over that after discussing the Soul Charge with changed old moves, because that kind of goes in tandem with 66AA. So for the time being, let's take a look at Groh's new Soul Attack. If there's any one of Groh's new moves that excites me the most, it's gotta be his new Soul Attack. Soul Attack is performed by doing 236 A plus B plus K. It is a mid-vertical that comes out on frame 16, and it has an optional Avenger transition afterwards. The frame data for this move without the Avenger transition is okay, not too notable, but the frame data with the Avenger transition is huge. This is +2 on block and +10 on hit. The frame data on block means that you can set up for frame traps with Avenger B. While on hit, Avenger B will outspeed Soul Charge, Sidestep, and Reversal Edge. And there's plenty of other applications for this move. You can use it as a combo ender, a whiff punisher, a wall splat move because it does wall splat, or you could even use it as a frame 16 block punisher. And because this attack has that Avenger transition, you can even use teleport attacks pretty quickly after using Soul Attack. One of the things I love the most about Soul Attacks for Groh is that you have so many ways of confirming into it, and I would go over all of them here, but it would just make the video far too long. So maybe I'll make a separate video on all the ways that you can confirm into Soul Attack. I'm showing off just a couple of them here now, but trust me, there are far more than this. I would say normally, you're probably going to always want to do the Avenger transition at the end of this move. However, if you're using it in a combo where you hit the opponent when they're grounded, you may not want to transition, because in that situation, they can stay on the ground, and the most you can threaten them with is Avenger K. The new Soul Attack really is a big buff for Groh. This move forces the opponent to deal with Groh's Soul Charge up close and personal as soon as he activates it, and the amount of setups and confirms you have into it means it's easy to apply in a real match. By the way, just to show off what this move can do with its wall splat, yeah, it's pretty dirty. So you might be wondering, okay, I've used Soul Attack, I'm in Soul Charge now, how do I take advantage of Groh's new Soul Charge options? Well, let's take a look at that, starting with 236B. When you use 236B in Soul Charge, there are 3 main changes you need to know. The first one is that it now has ludicrous range, and it does 76 damage. Compared to the normal combo of 60 that you get, that's pretty good. So the range and damage are pretty good. However, 236B does lose its ability to wall splat or ring out when you're in Soul Charge. So that's a slight downside, but overall I would say this move gets better in Soul Charge for sure. Groh's 4/4 Slide A also gets changed in Soul Charge, allowing for a teleport afterwards. Because Groh has this teleport option afterwards, he has a new counter hit combo. 4/4 Slide A6, Steed of Night K, 6/6B plus K for 79 damage. At Season's 2 release, 4/4 Slide A into Steed of Night K for some reason would whiff a lot. However, in version 2.02, Project Soul seems to have fixed this, at least for the most part. It's not whiffing nearly as much anymore. On hit, this Steed of Night transition is pretty good, but on block, it's probably the worst Steed of Night transition Groh has. You can interrupt Steed of Night K and Steed of Night A with a quick while rising frame 12 move. A Steed of Night B would usually beat that I-12 interrupt, but you have another option anyways. You can step and duck all options. Regardless of what Steed of Night attack you use, the opponent can whiff punish you pretty heavily. Because of the options the opponent has to punish this Steed of Night transition, I would say don't use this too often because you risk really getting punished for it. I'm a big fan of how they changed Avenger in Groh's normal kit, but I'm an even bigger fan of how they changed it in Soul Charge. Now you have Avenger BKB and Avenger KAK. Avenger BKB is a natural combo for 70 damage, and it's still I-12, and it's completely safe on block if they block every hit. If you hit the opponent with this near a wall, you can add a little bit by using 6/6B plus K for 85 damage now. And if you use this at the wall, you can have wall splat capabilities or even ring out capabilities near a ledge. On block, Avenger BKB can be slightly risky because the opponent can duck the last hit and whiff punish you. Then we have Avenger KAK, which is again still frame 16. The whole string ends at -2 on block, and it gives a knockdown on hit. Now this is not a natural combo, but instead, it's a natural counter combo, doing 75 damage. Similar to the non-Soul Charge version of this move, if the first hit lands, they have to block the rest, and because you're in Soul Charge, this does great chip and guard damage. I would say Avenger KAK in Soul Charge is one of Groh's best new moves. This makes the Avenger stance in Soul Charge way more threatening, it makes Avenger K way more threatening, and it makes it way safer. To show you the kind of damage that these moves can do, I've come up with this wall combo. Check this out. $111 damage isn't bad for an I-12 wall splat. Again, Groh's Soul Charge was already good, but this stuff makes it even better, and now it's for sure one of his best attributes. Okay, so now that we've covered that, let's take ourselves out of Soul Charge here, and let's get into some of Groh's existing moves that got changed. The first changed move I wanted to talk about is 6/6 AA, which is probably the most significant change that Groh got in his existing toolkit, and this one is a big nerf. 6/6 AA no longer knocks the opponent away like it did. If you still want that nice launch that the old 6/6 AA gave, you're going to have to counter hit with only the second hit. Basically, you'll never do this intentionally in a real match. This really is a significant nerf to Groh because 6/6 AA used to be used for like pseudo reverse ring outs and used to be able to get wall splats, used to be able to get instant table turning going, and now you can't do that quite as easily anymore. 6/6 AA will still wall splat, but you have to be really close, and the only reward you get off of that now is 6/6B plus K. Used to, you'd get a whole like 80 damage wall combo off of this. And not only that, but I used to be able to wall splat opponents with 6/6 AA from this distance, and now it's just not enough. In tandem with these 66AA changes, the developers put in 66AB, which somewhat remedies the nerfs that they gave to 66AA. 66AB is minus 14 on block, so you can get normally BB punished for doing this on block. It's a little bit riskier than 66AA, which is still minus 12 on block. Like the old 66AA, 66AB can ring out, but not from the same distance as the old 66AA. In fact, you have to be pretty close. Now, unlike the old 66AA, 66AB does not wall splat under any condition, so as you can see, it's not a full replacement for the old 66AA. The reason you're really going to want to use 66AB is because of the Oki it gives. You have some pretty good follow-up options after this move for either guard damage or a force block or something. For the purposes of simplicity, I won't go over exactly what all the Oki options and their implications are, but some possible follow-ups you want to keep an eye on are 4-4B, 4B plus K, and 4A6. After 66AB, these all have individual strengths that I've found that I think if you go into the lab and you figure out what those strengths are, you can use it very well in a match. And of course, remember that 66A is still entirely safe on block. It's still a great approach option. It's just that the follow-ups are not key moves, especially not 66AA anymore. The changes to 66A were certainly the biggest changes for any of his existing toolkit moves, but other moves also received notable changes. One of these moves is 4-4A, and it actually got a lot of buffs. 4-4A now hits the opponent 4 frames faster, and it has a better frame situation on both hit and block. In fact, on block, it's completely neutral. The auto GI window on 4-4A comes out a little bit earlier, making the lethal hit better to go for and more applicable, and in fact, the lethal hit combo has changed. For the new lethal hit combo, you can either do 4-4A lethal hit, 236B into 6-6B plus K, or you can do 6-6K, 8B plus K into 6-6B plus K. They do the same amount of damage, they have the same combo ender. I think 6-6K gives better meter gain and more carry towards the wall, so that might be a reason to use that over 236B. 6-6A plus B also got changed relatively notably. It's safer on block from minus 16 to minus 12, and the guard damage got reduced from 19% to 15%. So this means actually that for most characters, this move is entirely safe now. And I'll even show you, Groh's old punish on this used to be 6BB. He can no longer punish with 6BB, it gets blocked. So if this move is safe to almost all characters, who can punish it? Well, the only one that can punish it out in the open is Raphael, and he can do so using his 6BB. Other characters can punish it, but they have to use meter or be in a special state, and these characters are Xianghua, Mitsurugi, Geralt, and Killik. Everyone else cannot punish this out in the open at all. And in case you're wondering, not even Aswell can punish this with his Sword AA or Sword AB. Groh simply pushes him too far. The last change to 6-6A plus B that you need to know about is that there's virtually no tracking now. The second hit used to sometimes realign in Season 1, but that's gone. For this move, I would say the safety buff is huge. The guard damage nerf really isn't that big. You're only losing 4% guard damage, and you're still doing 15%. And it really shouldn't have tracked before anyways, so I'd say this is better as a result. In Soul Charge, 1 AK now does less damage. From 78, it's been reduced to 66. There's also a new lethal hit on this move. The lethal hit condition on this move is after getting a level 3 GI. It looks like this, and your follow-up is 6-6B plus K. Now that only does 75 damage, which is still less than the old version used to do on normal hit. Another application for this is that the knockdown you get is untechable, so you can use this to set up something else instead, like a 4A plus B force block. As for a lot of Groh's existing moves other than those, I think the changes are relatively minor, or they're just quality of life things. These aren't things that we'll have to think about quite as much. Some moves, such as 2B and 2-2 held A, got hitbox or tracking adjustments to make them work a little bit more as intended. Steed of Night B got a guard damage nerf. It went down from 30% to 24%, and this also affects 3BB. Still does a ton of guard damage, so I'm not too worried about that. 4A on block turns the opponent to face Groh a little bit more. This prevents them from being in a side turn state to where they can't step Avenger BB. Additionally, 4A base damage got nerfed, so it does about 7 points less damage now. If you hit 3B on an airborne opponent, they kind of sandbag to the ground immediately now. They don't get launched a little bit higher up. This is a change, I guess, from previous versions. I honestly never noticed or used 3B in a combo like that. And lastly, Groh's Soul Charge Critical Edge does a little bit less damage now, but trust me, this thing still hits like a truck. It still does 98 damage, so I'm not too bothered by that either.
As you can see, Groh in Season 2 has been changed quite a bit. I'm sure the question on your mind might be, is he better? Well, Groh players aren't entirely in agreement here, but if you ask me, I think Groh is definitely a stronger pick for competitive play in Season 2. There were numerous holes in his game plan during Season 1 that have been patched up by his new tools. For example, 3A plus B can cover rolling opponents, and 236B gives a high damage punish for duck ties. In addition to this, Groh's Soul Charge is dirty good now. It was already solid before, but it's so much better in Season 2. Avenger BKB, Avenger KAK, and Soul Charge 236B are simply disgusting tools. Even once opponents find the correct counterplay to Groh Season 2 changes, I think he'll still be in a much better spot than he was in Season 1. So with that being said, my name is Solio. Thank you so much for tuning in to my Season 2 Groh guide. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for future Groh and SoulCalibur content, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.